By the way, when you hear that, and the mainstream media is going to say this over and over, the legacy media will say hour and a half, hour and a half, hour and a half. It's 45 minutes. It's 45 minutes because there's translation. And having been in situations where there's translation, a good rule of thumb is just cut that number in half, because there's always going to be time where they have to translate it into Russian for Putin, then they have to translate it back to English for Trump. I was at the Helsinki summit in Finland in 2018 between the two presidents, the first time they ever held, I think the only time they ever actually held a summit, and it was the same way. So it's really only about 45 minutes, but we've got a readout from the White House. We've also got a readout from the Kremlin. So this is something, look, we've been talking about it here for the last couple of weeks, and I want to get everyone on board with this. This is why we went all with understanding what's going on. This is about not just an end to the Ukraine war. This is about preventing World War III from happening, and potentially a massive, massive peace treaty or some kind of deal between the West and Russia, something that a lot of people said should have happened after the Cold War and really never went down the right way. You had the Clintons in the 1990s. You had the neocons throughout the 2000s. And then, of course, you had the Crimea crisis, which is, I believe, 11 years ago, either today or yesterday was the actual anniversary of the annexation of Crimea. And now, of course, the Ukraine war that's taken place. And so there's been a lot of talk about places not of disagreement, like Ukraine, obviously, but also places where perhaps the United States and Russia could work together, including places where we've historically worked together, like the Middle East. And so the readout actually came out from both sides as we were here on the show live, of course. So I haven't had time to go through all of it yet. But one thing that I have really keyed in on is the fact that they are talking quite extensively. And you saw this earlier this week with President Trump, as well as Witkoff on the special envoy Witkoff on Face the Nation, talking about the Black Sea.